Howdy, guys. My apologies that we are starting a little bit late because we normally start at 8, but it is now 8:40. And here's the big thing. I have done multiple hearings, multiple briefs, multiple phone calls, and I am super tired. I'm so tired that my eyes are actually watering right now as I talk to you. Now, this is what's important. We're looking at all of the different, states throughout the nation that are starting to present forward essentially some stimulus kind of inflation-based checks. And they're all coming from the state, which is interesting. So I wanted to go through this real quick and kind of figure out what the deal was, go through all the different states that are available, and then we'll take calls to answer any and all disability calls that you have where I can help out with any questions that I can answer. Let's get right to it. Oh, please remember to like, subscribe, and leave 5-star reviews. All right. Thanks so much. Here we go, guys. This is from CNET specifically from a Dan Avery. State stimulus checks for 2022. Who's eligible? When are payments going out? This is the article. While more federal stimulus payments are unlikely this year, over a dozen states are sending tax refunds to residents. So this is kind of like a quasi, stimulus slash, inflation-based Biden economic fix. That's what it is. In late June, South Carolina became the latest state to combat rampant inflation and the growing threat of recession with a plan to send an income tax rebate check to eligible residents. Governor Henry McMaster signed a tax cut bill that will also see taxpayers receive up to $800 in late November or December. The federal government issued 3 rounds of stimulus checks originally. We know those. During the height of the pandemic, it's unlikely to send more this year, but at least 17 states have issued or are in the process of sending out tax rebate payments, which is their quasi-stimulus to assist basically us through this ridiculous pre-recession situation. Now, here's where residents should keep an eye out for tax rebates, how much they can expect to get, and when funds could arrive. Basically, let's go through this real quick. The first one, California, obviously, they've been giving out a lot of these. Governor Gavin Newsom and state lawmakers have agreed to send millions of Californians inflation relief checks as high as $1,050 for a married couple with at least one child. The payments, which are coming out of California's $97 billion budget surplus, will go out as direct deposits or debit cards by 2023. So here's one of the things that I have a question of, and maybe you guys can help me out with this in the comments, in the chat session too. What I don't understand is that lots of mega corporations, a lot of Silicon Valley is leaving California. A lot of residents are leaving California to go to Florida and Texas. So how do they have this massive, almost $100 billion surplus in their? I mean, how does that even happen? I don't know how that happens. So maybe I'm missing something. Maybe you guys can kind of fill me in on that. Maybe it's just that Silicon Valley was that, profitable, even with all these other companies leaving, that maybe it's just so big that it's just so much money there. I don't know, but I do know the tax system there is very high. So obviously they're going to reap in a lot more benefits very quickly than other states. Now, let's go through the basics of basically California so you understand what's going on. How much residents receive is based on their income, tax filing status, and household size. Single taxpayers who earn less than $750,000 a year, and couples who file jointly and make less than $150,000, right? So single, 75, couple, 150 a year will receive $350 per taxpayer, and another $350 if they have any dependents. A married couple with children, therefore, could receive as much as $1,050, right? So $350, $350, $350. Individual filers who make between $75,000 and $125,000 a year, right? We're starting to get out of that. Remember, with the original federal government stimulus, we're starting to get out of that, $75,000 and below category where people are getting the full check. But anyways, $75,000 and $125,000 a year, and couples who earn between $150,000 to $250,000 will receive $250 per taxpayer plus another $250 if they have any dependents. A family with children could therefore receive a total of $750 because the parents are in a much higher tax bracket, that $75,000 plus tax bracket. Now, individual filers who earn between $125,000 and $250,000, and couples who earn between $250,000 and $500,000, $500,000 a year, annually would receive $200 each. A family with children in this bracket could receive a maximum of $600. So $200 for the mom, $200 for the dad, and $200 for the child, or $200 for the mom, $200 for the mom, $200 for the dad, $200 for the dad, and then a kid on top. So I got to be fair to everybody. Single taxpayers earning $250,000 or above and couples earning combined $500,000 aren't eligible for the payments. That's important there. Single taxpayers earning $250,000 or above and couples earning a combined $500,000 aren't eligible for payments. Now, let's head right into Colorado. So we just did California. Now we're going into Colorado. Yeah, I agree. California legalized marijuana. If the federal government would legalize marijuana, we would see trillions of our debt just magically disappear. All right, so here we go. Colorado. State residents who have filed their 2021 return by June 30th will get a check for $750 by September, while joint filers will get $1,500. Filers who receive an extension and file by the October 17th deadline will receive their refund by January 31st, 2023. That's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good chunk. Now, is that enough to offset the inflation? No, not even close. Is it something that they're trying to do that the federal government should jump on top of too to help out? Yeah. We need more than just that. It seems like a lot of money, but as we all know now, $750 isn't a lot of money. In fact, $1 million isn't a lot of money. Houses all over the place are over $1 million now. That used to be like not even $500,000. So it's just a weird world we're living in. Delaware. Governor John Carney signed a bill in April approving $300 stimulus checks to residents who filed their 2020 tax returns. If you filed jointly, each person receives one of the payments, which started going out in May. And I think that's a more fair approach. And I get where Colorado's coming across. They want to push people to file their 2021 taxes so that people are paying in the money that they're going to get this stimulus money back. Whereas Delaware, I think that's a little bit more fair what Delaware is doing. They're doing it based off the 2020 taxes. Okay. Georgia, Governor Brian Kemp signed a bill in March authorizing rebates to taxpayers who have filed their state returns for both 2020 and 2021. So you can see like what their leverage is here. They're trying to get you to file early. In May, single taxpayers received $250, with heads of households getting $375, and married couples filing jointly netting $500. So they're kind of on the lower end of what people are getting from these different places. Now, partial year residents or individuals who owe income tax. Oh, there's a rocket going off. Oh, it's a big rocket too. That's what the doggies, that's what's going on. Oh, they're so unhappy. All right, never mind. Here we go. Partial year residents or individuals who owe income tax, delinquent child support, now we're getting into the gravy here, or other payments may have received a smaller rebate. You guys got to understand. So I actually live right next to where NASA is and SpaceX is and Blue Origin and pretty much anything that you can shove rocket fuel into, I live next door to it. And when they go off and they go up, it's like they're like literally, if I go over there, you can just see them go up. All right, so let's go down here to Hawaii. Now, Hawaii is a super, oh yeah, dogs want stimulus. That's right, the Starfire, very nice. Hawaii is a super liberal state. When it comes to obtaining disability benefits in Hawaii, it's much, much easier than any other state. When it comes to obtaining disability benefits in Alaska, I mean, good luck. Good luck. Just good luck. Hawaii, residents who earned under $100,000 in 2021 or $200,000 if they file jointly will get $300 tax rebate this year, with dependents eligible for the rebate as well. Now, just to kind of give you guys some perspective, they're thinking like $175 a month increase to retirement benefits right now. So when these guys are giving you $300 for like the year as like a sorry, we screwed everything up and the recession's going to be bad, and I know you have horrible inflation and can't afford things at Walmart. When they give you that $300 is nothing. Even the government, who always underpays on their COLA, cost of living adjustment, even they are looking at a $175 increase per month. So this little piddly like $300 a month crap, like if we could just get the Democrats complaining to Biden as much as they did to Trump, we might actually see something. Although I do believe there might be a swap. There might be a Gavin Newsom swap coming up. I mean, to be frank with you guys, President Biden's, and this is what happens usually with the Democratic Party as opposed to the Republican Party. Democratic Party members, when they see a member of their tribe going down, they all take a bite. They all just horrifically go after that person and destroy them. For example and point, go look at New York and the prior governor. Just go look at that, because if you look at the articles coming out right now, it is just a total, I mean, they're dragging him through the dirt as far as the eye can see. All right, let's keep rolling through this. Individuals for Hawaii who earned more than $100,000 and couples who earned more than $200,000 will receive a one-time $100 payout. Okay, I mean, whatever, it is what it is. That's, I mean, come on. All right, according to the State Department of Taxation, payments could begin being mailed out in late August. Now, Idaho, cool. Little awesome state when it comes to farming. Very good. Governor Brad Little signed a bill in February giving $75 to each taxpayer and dependent, or 12% of their 2020 state income tax return, whichever is greater. Checks started going out in March. You can review the status. Okay, so bottom line is that's interesting. It's a different take. $75 or 12% of their 2020 state income tax return. So that's interesting, applying to those who didn't get money back and how that's going to affect that. That's going to be interesting. Illinois estimated 1.83 billion relief package, which went into effect July 1st, which keep in mind is like twice as much. Wait, hold on. Is that twice as? Let's go back to California. Let's go back to California. California was sending 97 billion. So that's a chunk, right? But then we go down to Illinois. They're pumping out a 1.83 billion relief package. All right, so we're talking a lot smaller. Okay, which went into effect July 1st, includes income and property tax rebates and a temporary cut in several sales taxes. Individuals who earn less than $200,000 in 2021 will receive a $50 income tax rebate, while couples filing jointly with incomes under $400,000 will receive $100. Filers can also earn $100 per dependent they claimed on their 2021 taxes. Up to 3 dependents. That's right. The 4th kid is screwed. That's terrible. In all, a family of 5 can earn as much as $400. Comptroller Susanna Mendoza expects to start cutting checks the week of September 12th. The Illinois Department of Revenue told CNET in an email, with distribution finishing roughly 8 weeks later. Have you guys noticed that? I know the phone's ringing off the hook. I can see it. I know. We're going to do your questions shortly. Have you guys noticed that, like, all of this, like, hey, we're going to give you money stuff is like buying your vote for the upcoming November elections? Like, that's what this is. But just to be fair, like, Illinois, you can't buy somebody's vote with $50. I mean, maybe there's some people you could buy their vote with $50, but the grand majority are looking at that and they're like, I don't think so. I don't think that makes or breaks. I mean, literally in like a 3-month period, that is the difference in what you would spend in food, right? Actually less than 3 months. So anyways, here we go. Here's a Democrat jumping in on this. The Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker's family relief plan also includes several tax holidays and rebates, including a suspension of the state's 1% sales tax on grocery from July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. That's good. Sales taxes for qualified clothing and school supplies will be reduced from 6.25 to 1.25% from August 5th to the 14th. I don't know why we're paying 6.25% to begin with in Illinois at that rate. That's absolutely obnoxious. A permanent expansion of the earned income credit from 18% to 20% of the federal credit. Property tax rebates for homeowners earning less than $250,000 or $500,000 if filing jointly will be available in an amount equal to the property tax credit they qualify for on the 2021 Illinois returns, up to $300. I'm not impressed. I mean, it's a good start, but guys, people are in way worse shape than this piddly little, crumbs of the biscuit crap that they're giving us. Indiana, starting in May, payments of $125 started going out to all residents regardless of income as a result of Indiana's automatic taxpayer refund law. Governor Eric Holcomb is urging lawmakers to send taxpayers an additional $225. All right. Keep building it. Maine taxpayers who have filed their 2021 tax returns. See, that's that hook right there. You better have filed, or else you're not getting the extra stimmy. In this case, it's a tax return, which is not technically, obviously, a traditional stimulus, but it is a form of a stimulus. All right, so file your 2021 tax returns in Maine and have an adjusted gross income of less than $100,000 are eligible for an $850 direct relief payment. Now, that's pretty good. I'm impressed. All right, look, sometimes, guys, when it comes to Maine, I don't get impressed other than they have some of the most beautiful scenery, beautiful boating, beautiful trees, beautiful, like, Acadia National Park. Okay, look, everything's amazing about Maine, including the wild blueberries and the ice cream, except for the rapid, horrific drug abuse that's going on up there. I mean, literally, like, a lot of drugs, 2016, 2017 era, were coming through Maine because nobody expected that. Like, Coast Guard was up there in force. All right, anyways, Maine, under $100,000, you get $850 direct relief payment if you filed your 2021 tax returns. Couples filing jointly, they double up, $1,700. Checks were expected to arrive before mid-July. Cool. Massachusetts state legislature is working to provide one-time tax rebates of $250 to eligible individuals, taxpayers, and 500 married couples out of the state's $3.6 billion revenue surplus. Eligibility is based on an annual income reported in 2021. Taxpayers will have to have made at least $38,000 and no more than 100,000 for individuals or 150,000 for couples to receive a rebate. Wait, so you have to have made money of at least 38,000 to get this? Let me read that again because that seems silly. Eligibility is based on annual income reported in 2021. Taxpayers will have to have made at least $38,000 and no more than 100,000. What about everybody earning under $38,000? There's more. Let's keep reading. Here we go. The plan is still being finalized, but so they're still figuring the crap out. If implemented, checks go out before the end of September, no doubt, because November elections. Massachusetts already sent $500 stimulus checks to low-income workers in the spring. Oh, they already paid off the low-income workers and the homeless and the chronically homeless. To qualify, they have to have a household income at or below 300% of the federal poverty level and not have received unemployment compensation in 2021. I don't think that's Massachusetts. You got to work on that. You need to open the purse strings a little bit, because that's absolutely ridiculous. Minnesota, certain Minnesota frontline workers will receive a one-time payment of $750 with applications being accepted through July 22nd and checks starting to go out in late July. Governor Tim Walz has also called for a special session of the legislature to pass a proposed income tax rebate of $1,000 for individual filers earning less than $165,000 and $2,000 for couples earning less than $275,000. Now, some of you guys are hearing these big numbers and you're like, how the heck? Why are they giving money to people who basically earn, in this case, $165,000 or less than $275,000? That's because earning $165,000 is not good anymore. That used to be a super awesome, mid to low executive salary. Now it's like an administrative function salary in the tech industry for the most part. And it goes way up from there. What happened is this: all of our money went through a massive, complete, I don't know, if we could find a fire and a trash bin and put those together and just throw inflation in there, that's what we'd have. So the bottom line is, even if you make a chunk and they take a ton out for taxes, because look, the super ultra wealthy, they don't pay much taxes, right? I'm going to do a video on that, capital gains versus traditional income. They don't pay that much taxes. They have all their little ways around it, and that is what it is. But the quasi upper class, right? The 100,000 plusers, everything is getting sucked out of them. It's just left and right getting sucked out of them. They're paying a massive amount into taxes, and what they get back is actually not that much. So it's not a good situation. New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy. Now, as you guys know, my connection to New Jersey, horse farm, yada yada. They're so, look, I'm in the middle. Republican, Democrat. I'm in the middle. They're so extreme left, especially with gun laws, that I'm just like, that's one of my least favorite things about New Jersey is they're so extreme left. It's like California left. It's just it's not liberal. It's just like take a ball, throw it as hard as you can left. Governor Phil Murphy has already signed off on a $500 tax rebate for nearly 1 million New Jersey residents, which is nothing. It's not the 1 million residents, it's nothing. He has also supported payments to taxpayers who use a taxpayer identification number instead of a social security number, which would include non-resident and resident aliens and their families. Here we go, paying for people. Indeed. In June, Murphy announced a plan to provide more than $2 billion in rebates to approximately 2 million New Jersey households. The plan would offer as much as $1,500 to families who pay property tax, but also benefit renters. Okay. Now, obviously, that would not happen in Florida. That whole thing right there would be changed in Florida. New Mexico, that whole thing right there would be changed in New Mexico. The Land of Enchantment issued, I know, guys, I'm going to get the phone call shortly. Hold on. The Land of Enchantment issued $250 rebate checks to state taxpayers in both May and June for a total of $500. Another rebate is scheduled for distribution in July, though it comes with certain stipulations. Oh, the caveats. Let's see what they want from you. Married couples filing joint returns, heads of households and surviving spouses with incomes under $150,000 are eligible to receive a $500 income tax rebate. Single filers and married individuals who file separately, meanwhile, are eligible for a $250 rebate if they have income under $75,000. No, you know what's funny is that the federal thing was $75,000, right? And some of these states still held on to $75,000. But $75,000 isn't worth $75,000 now. It's worth significantly less than $75,000. So they got to inch that up to 100, 125, 150 at this point, because the money's just it's not worth it. It's not worth it like it used to. Howdy, Shirley. Howdy. Thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the $2.99 donation. Now, they're saying for New Mexico, no action is needed. Eligible taxpayers who have or will file their 2021 income tax before May 1st of 2023 will automatically receive the rebate either via direct deposit or paper check. A third and final round of payments is slated for distribution in August. Okay. Now, with that said, we're going to head down to New York and just kind of skim through these things. New York, in June, about 3 million New York State homeowners started receiving property tax rebates of up to $1,050. Awesome. New York City household, which is kind of funny too, because their property taxes are obnoxious. Not as bad as New Jersey, but they are absolutely obnoxious. It doesn't really feel like in New York and New Jersey that you own property. You're just constantly paying taxes on it. All right, so here we go. New York City households, though, are getting an average of $425. Those who qualify should have automatically been sent a check by the end of June, but details on eligibility are available in the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance website. So that's interesting that they kind of shot that, check out there early because they still have the midterms coming up. Pennsylvania, in July, more than 260,000 older homeowners, renters, and people with disabilities started receiving part of a massive $121.7 million payout issued through the property tax/rent rebate program, which isn't that massive compared to what California did. Eligible residents should visit the MyPath website or file a paper application before the extended deadline of December 31st, 2022, with payments coming as a direct deposit or check. The maximum standard rebate in Pennsylvania is $650 according to the Department of Revenue, but supplemental rebates for qualifying homeowners can boost that amount to $975. Okay, cool. All right. Next one, South Carolina. Income tax refunds, checks up to $800 will be sent out to South Carolina taxpayers starting in late November or December. You notice how the ones that are releasing checks basically farther down the line are essentially, upping up the ante because they know a $500 check isn't worth $500 anymore. $500 check a couple months ago is not, you need 600, 700, 800, you have to bump it up. The rebate, all right, so any resident who paid at least $100 in taxes will receive a $100 rebate. That's interesting. So the chronically homeless can't get a rebate. That's interesting. Roselle, thank you so much for the $10 donation. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, guys, please remember to like, subscribe, and leave 5-star reviews. The rebates, so let's keep rolling through this real quick. But again, Roselle, thank you for the $10 donation. They really helped me since I'm refurbishing the New Jersey horse estate. The rebates, which are issued per person, regardless of whether they filed individually or jointly, will cost the state about $1 billion. So bottom line is, if you filed and you paid at least $100 in taxes, you will receive a $100 rebate with the amount growing based on their tax liability up to $800 for cap per tax filing. So about 56% of the tax returns are expected to get money back, according to the State Revenue and Fiscal Affairs Office. Next one, Virginia. After legislation cleared the General Assembly in July, Virginians will receive one-time checks. Starting in late September, individual filers will receive $250, joint filers $500. Which is on the very, very, very low end. Now, the article goes into whether or not there will be a federal stimulus check. Analysts say not to count on it, especially since another cash infusion could fuel further inflation. Overall, there is no great solution to the inflation problem. Michael Hayes, professor of public policy at Rutgers University, told The Hill, another round of stimulus checks, even if targeted to the lowest income group, would only provide a short-term relief at the risk of midterm, long-term problems. Now, I want to say something about this that I think is relatively important here, that you need to understand about what's happening. Oh, wow. Benny Hill. Wow. Jeez Louise. Wow. Thank you for the $19.99 donation. Wow. Thank you. I really appreciate it. That's huge. Wow. Benny Hill, Roselle, and then Shirley, my buddy up on the farm. Thank you so much. And I don't know if you guys know, but Shirley actually did pop up to the farm, which is really cool, with her RV. So that's awesome. Now, with that said, I want to talk very briefly, and then I'll go right to the phone calls. I promise I will answer questions. One of the things that I'm noticing is that these states are looking for ways to capture your hearts and your votes and basically do it through your wallet. And the reality is that they have to use all these different potential options, emotional polls, right? The Republicans are like, don't take away my guns. The Democrats are like, your guns are dangerous. They have to use these emotional polls. And when that's not enough and you're really starving and you don't care about the other stuff to some degree, they're using a financial poll to go ahead and pull you in to make sure that you make these payments, or rather that you get these payments to go ahead and survive. Now, with all that said, I think the midterms are going to be a sloppy, crazy, all around, just insane moment. It's going to be the Super Bowl on steroids. I'm excited about it. I have popcorn already ready. With that said, everything considering, as you know, Biden isn't doing very well in the polls. And the bottom line is, I feel like there's going to be some new contenders slowly climbing up that ladder. As you know, Trump is waiting for the moment to release whether or not he's going to run in 2024. Obviously, he is. It's just obviously he is. Ron DeSantis was taking shots at him, and then of course Gavin Newsom was taking shots at Ron DeSantis. My opinion is that it will be essentially a Trump versus potentially Gavin Newsom, next run. I honestly don't see President Biden running again. There's a lot of things that they could get him on. There's issues with his son that are just horrific and massive. And also, frankly, his VP just doesn't really carry any votes. It doesn't carry votes like, a big ticket winner would. Gavin Newsom does carry votes, even though a lot of people in his state absolutely hate him. But that goes both ways. Same thing for essentially Florida with Ron DeSantis. Now, we're going to get into phone calls right now, and this is incredibly important. I'm going to post this up there. Now, I know a bunch of people already called in. I get that. We're going to go ahead and take the phone. Here we go. And because I'm so tired and so awesome, we're going to go ahead and begin the process by calling back people and there's a phone call. All right. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Please remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Now, remember, you have to mute the computer. And also, would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to go ahead and run hearing questions with you? But just remember, you've got to mute the computer. Everything's going perfectly tonight.
Hello?
Howdy. You just got to mute the computer and then you're all set. You just turn the volume off on the computer. How are you doing?
Okay. Okay.
Good. Can I answer a specific question for you, or can I run hearing questions with you?
Okay. Yeah, I called in a few months ago, and I'm 65, and I wanted to go back to work, do some work. And you told me to call the Social Security office to find out if I have any trial work period months left. So I've been on Social Security for 20 years. Mm-hmm. And while I was waiting to go on Social Security, I had my waiting year, then I worked for a year, and then I got my award. So I worked in 2003, I got an award in 2004. And I made about $10,000 in 2003. Okay. Are they going to go back and count those as trial work period months? And what if I have 9 months? Then I'm completely out of the game.
Well,
right?
Usually it's from a new filing. So, and also you were disabled during that period, 2003, 2004, 2005. You were
right.
And the question, so I think the question you're really asking me is, do the trial work periods reset on if you do a new filing and a new, so let's say that you file again and get found disabled again, but you're 65. So, man, you're running out of road here on the disability path because, for SSDI benefits, you got 66, 67, and then you are aged out. So, that right. Question might become moot, but when you do a new right. filing, usually you get new trial work period months. So, right. In that instance,
when I was awarded, the judge said that he considered it an unsuccessful work attempt, but it's not in my. It doesn't mention that in my award letter, right? Like he doesn't mention a trial work period, but so are they going to go back? Because when I called them, I said, how many trial work period months do I have left? And they said, we won't know until you start working, then we'll have to go back and work up the numbers because, that's another thing. I've never had a review, right? So they've never, the only review I think was after you're getting an award. I think your award goes to a review committee or something, and then I forget what they call it, but they look at the ruling to make sure it's legal.
Okay, so a couple of things. First off and foremost, a trial work period and a failed work attempt are two totally separate things that have nothing to do with each other. A failed work period is where you didn't earn enough over enough months to go ahead and learn the job based on the skills to basically, count it as something that they look at for a vocational allowance. It's just you didn't spend enough time, under the SVPs to learn how to do it, earn enough doing it, kind of the whole shebang there. Because remember, if you're earning a really particularly low amount, the judge is going to look at that and say, wait a minute, was he actually doing this job?
Right.
So bottom line is that's different than the trial work period. Now, trial work period, the way that works is you can potentially get a new trial work period, every 5-year period. And essentially, once one is essentially exhausted, you have to go ahead and do a new filing for disability benefits and get found disabled to go ahead and look to have a new one. But, in that case, you're talking 2003, 2004, 2005. That's way prior than 5 years ago. So, I mean, potentially you could have had, from that period, 3 or 4 trial work periods.
Right, but they never said that I had used up my 9 months. No one ever, I did not lose my benefits. I got my award in spite of the fact that I was working. And so now, do you feel like I can go back to work and right now and still have those 9 months?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. You got 9 months. You could go do that.
Okay.
You got 9 months of trial work. You got 36 months of extended eligibility program.
Right.
You could even, well, I mean, they're not going to give you a trial work period, or they're not going to give you a ticket to work. But the bottom line is, yeah, you could use your trial months and you could use your 36, and you should be good. Yeah.
Okay. One quick question. Once I reach full retirement age, and I'm on Social Security retirement, and if I work then, can they ever come back and say, hey, you were disabled before, but now you're working, can't do that? They can't come after you after you're... No.
A lot of people go from disability benefits to retirement benefits and then get back to work because of inflation. That's the new cool thing, man. If you're not doing it, then you're not part of the cool crowd. I'm crying a little bit. No, but it's like perfect. Well, sounds good, sir. There's a zillion calls, but you have a wonderful night, and I'll catch you later.
Yeah, thanks a lot. God bless.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let's see if I can make it over here to another call real quick. Boop, boop, boop. All right, let's just do this one. Let's do this one. Here we go. All right, we are calling another phone number. Sweetie's trying to push my chair over right here. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Would you like me to go ahead and answer a specific question, or would you like me to go ahead and basically run some hearing questions? Also, remember, you got to mute the computer. I think it went through the voicemail. Hold on, let me try that again. Let me try it again real quick. Hold on. Let's try it again. Let's see if we get this person. It's connecting. Let's see if it rings through. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube.
Hello.
Howdy. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to go ahead and run hearing questions with you?
Answer a question if you could.
Yes, good sir. How can I help you?
Okay, first of all, thank you for all you do for us. Really appreciate it. Number two, I was just recently put on Social Security disability a year ago, and for some reason they put me on Medicaid. So I stayed on that. Now they're transitioning me to Social Security. To Medicare, and they're saying that I'm going to get Medicaid with that in the Social Security. But from what I'm saying, if I make say $1,500 or $1,600 a month, and I'm married, then if I don't keep the Medicaid, I'll fall into a gap, and then I'll have to get a job to pay for my disability, to pay for my medicine, because I take a couple of expensive medications. So I guess the question is why would they put me on Medicaid? Is it because of the medications or because of the coronavirus emergency that's still going on?
So,
do you know anything about that?
Yeah. So here's kind of what I see most happening with this situation. Were you found disabled before your 2-year wait period for Medicare to kick
Yes.
in. Okay, cool. So usually if somebody's bad, they'll go ahead and throw them on Medicaid for a period of time. And then basically they'll transition them over to Medicare. Now, another question I have is, are you receiving a hybrid allowance where you're getting, or they call it concurrent allowance? That's where you're getting SSDI benefits and a little bit of SSI benefits.
No.
Okay.
Just only straight disability Social Security.
SSDI. Perfect. So what that means is that you are receiving Medicaid as like a, and this happens with some people. They meet the financial requirements, they meet the medical requirements, they get them onto Medicaid, and then basically a lot of them they kick off of it once they get their Medicare. Some of them get to continue to stay on Medicaid, with essentially the Medicare. Now, with that said, if you're earning $1,500 per month, you're earning over SGA, which is substantial gainful activity, so which is $1,350. So keep in mind you've got 9 months of trial work period where you can keep whatever money you earn over that, that $1,350. You can keep all the money you earn plus your benefits for 9 months. But then after that, you don't get to keep the money that you earn on top of your benefits if you earn over, you don't get to keep your benefits if you earn over the SGA amount after those 9 trial months. So the bottom line is, yeah. So in your instance, it's awesome that you got Medicare and Medicaid. But for the most part, you're really going to be using Medicare for most options. So I mean, it's great that you have Medicaid, but it's just not, So
yeah, I signed up. I signed up for Anthem as a secondary, and then my wife has great insurance, so I'm covered under her. But when I called and questioned the Medicaid issue, the advisor actually told me it would be better if I divorced my wife. We've been married for 31 years. It would be better for me to divorce my wife. Then I could definitely keep the Medicaid than to stay married to her. And I was like, really? And I just thought that was strange they would tell me that.
There's a lot of rules. Yeah, like marriage penalty rule. There's all these stupid rules for low income when it happens to have a spouse involved. And the federal government gets involved when they shouldn't. But the reality is the states are in control over essentially whether or not you're married. But the bottom line is, yeah, there's all these rules in the insurance land and also in SSI land where if you have a wife that's earning over a certain amount as part of, and they call it deeming, the deeming process, it can really hurt you. And it's terrible advice, but it's accurate advice that you would have to divorce your wife to potentially get the maximum in those programs.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'll let everybody else ask a question, but thanks for taking my call. I really appreciate your channel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Hey, you too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can take another call real quick. Let me see what I can do here. Boop. All right, we're going to try this one out, see if I can get through to this one real quick. It is ringing. I think it is ringing. Let me see if it's ringing. It's kind of ringing. That means it's like a digital call. Let's see what's going on.
Hello?
Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to go ahead and run hearing questions with you?
A specific question, please. And my name is Pete from Germany, calling you.
Wonderful, good sir. How can I help you?
Yes, I do have a small problem with my SSDI, and I contacted you in January this year earlier, and I contacted my local field office in the States, and I asked for my Medicare, and they told me that I'm not qualified because under the Social Security agreement between Germany and the US, this is not provided. And I spoke to them in 2009, and they told me I have to start working or to pay self-employment tax. So I start making up a virtual income, and I report this virtual income to the Social Security Administration in Baltimore, to the international section. And what happened now earlier this year is that my 12 years I paid in has been taken off my record, and my SSDI has been reduced from $900 to $600.
Okay, so just to summarize, yes, the 1979 agreement between the U.S. and Germany did not include Medicare. And walk me through again what happened with the quarters of coverage being removed. What happened there?
Yes, I removed 12 years of my self-employment coverage. And yeah, that's what happened right now. And they also reduced my SSDI benefits from around $900 to $600.
So they took away quarters of coverage, which reduced the amount of quarters of coverage that were paid in, which reduces the overall amount. But why did they remove that? I mean, that's a lot of years. I don't know of a rule that restricts self-employment. There shouldn't be. I mean, if you paid in the money in taxes, you should be covered.
They told me that I do an illegal action.
Okay, so what was the illegal action that they were not happy with?
Because I told them that, I spoke to them and they told me, what have you done? And I said, well, I make up a virtual income, and from this virtual income, I paid my Social Security tax, and I always reported this to the Social Security Administration, and I never get a reply or information from you that this is an illegal action I'm doing. So they told me that I have to take off 12 years.
So basically, so the thing is this: when you essentially claim self-employment income, there has to be somebody in the land of the economy that actually pays you to do the work of the self-employment income under their rules and guidelines. Most people that are in this situation, they don't follow that. What they do is they just claim it and they quasi pay the taxes, and then they go from there. The reality is that they feel that this is a fake transaction, even though it's a ridiculous thing, because let's call it like it is. You pay your taxes, then you've paid your taxes. But their argument is there's another element there, which is that you have not conferred on society the benefit of doing that work and earning that money, even though you're paying them the taxes of it, which is the thing they should really care about, because they just want the money. So the bottom line is, yeah, no, that's not entirely okay, because you told them essentially that you just made up numbers, and you're not supposed to make up numbers. You're supposed to go ahead and attach it to somebody who is paying you to do this work in the economy, whether it's in Germany or the United States. So the bottom line is, yeah, that is an issue, because now I'm sure somewhere they have a federal statement that says, hey, bottom line, you said you magically made up these numbers. You can never just, make up the numbers to, assert. You have to, I mean, it's pretty much, it's pretty spelled out. You have to basically actually earn the money in the economy before reporting them. But see, the other side of the coin is, I don't know, man. You might want to get a tax attorney to try and fight that thing, because you might be able to set some precedent where it just doesn't, like, you might be able to sue the IRS or something. But you're in Germany, but I mean, you might be able to sue and try and get that law changed, because there's really not a strong reason to not allow somebody to just pay taxes to get the benefit. There's just not a strong reason against that. I mean, I get the whole you have to confer benefit on society, but to me, that's just, if you're going to pay the taxes to buy into the program, you should be allowed to do that. You're technically not allowed to. Somebody has to confer that you did that work, that the payment occurred, right? But to me, I think it's a bad rule. To me, I would look into getting a tax attorney to help me fight that.
Okay. I will try my luck then. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate your help.
Absolutely, good sir. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So, and in that phone call, he brings up a really good point, which is he wanted to go ahead and get the benefits of the program, so he paid the taxes on it. He marked it as self-employment, but he didn't actually earn it in the national economy. The government stance is that you have to actually earn it as self-employment in the economy, right? Although, at the same time, all they're really looking for is for you to pay the taxes to get the program benefit. Their argument is that you're not doing something in the economy to make it worthwhile to do the whole, oh yeah, sorry guys, the moderator she's moving right now. She was in a really bad, situation. She's moving to her first, only her apartment thing, which is really great. I'm really happy for her. As you know, she uploads videos for us to different, websites. And so the moderator is not going to be with us tonight, but she will essentially be with us in future nights because she's moving today to her first apartment. And the law firm hiring her and having her upload videos is actually one of the things that's helping her as a mom get out of a really bad situation, which is just awesome, super awesome. Let's take the next phone call real quick. Let's keep rolling down here. Let me see what we've got. Okay, we're going to try this one right here. Here we go. Let's see if we can get through. If we can get through, that's awesome. If we can't, no biggie. Let's see. All right, it is ringing, I think. Let me see. Oh, there it is. There it is. Let me see what we got going on. Oh no! All right. So with that said, it is 9:25. If anybody wants to call me for one more phone call, I'm going to put the phone number in there real quick. 279-1754. So here's basically the deal. Give me one more call. Then we're going to call the security expert, get an update specifically as to what's going on. He's going to make a short demonstration, and I'm going to go to sleep because I have to wake up early and actually do some roof stuff. And then after that, magically do a full day's thing of law firm work, and then drive to Fort Lauderdale, and then wake up tomorrow and finish rebuilding a deck. So yay, awesome. Guys, so if you want to call me, cool. If not, we're gonna count it down. We're gonna count it down from people basically having the opportunity to call me. Here we go. So we got 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The pinky. And all right, we're gonna call the security expert. Let's get this rolling. That way we can find out exactly what's going on, because it is super important to know in this crazy, crazy world that we're living in right now, exactly what's going on security-wise with Ukraine, with Russia, with what other NATO states are doing. Some NATO states are becoming, or some states are becoming, countries becoming NATO-oriented. So let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Here we go. And let me get the speaker on. Oh, that's a good, strong speaker sound. That's very good. Here we go. It's ringing. I'm hoping.
Yours, take us to the final jump. 7 seconds. Satellite final at Galaxy 19. Galaxy 19 encryption level 4, please. 3, 2, 1. We have a lock. Thank you all. Good evening, Walter.
Howdy, good sir. How are you doing?
Good. CJ Lewis here, reporting on global matters impacting our clients by providing the most accurate info, the health and safety of their organizational decision-making and their personnel. Our organization is, for your listeners, is comprised of subject matter experts working in concert with our staff globally that provide firsthand witness documentation and video. This information is research verified and then using proprietary software programs, including AI. We assign it a validity rating prior to releasing it to anyone, including you folks. How are you doing tonight?
Very good. Super tired. I've just been beat up. Had a bunch of hearings. I got to finish a brief after this. I got to wake up. I got to get it on a roof. Do roof repairs. This is the punishment. A 1970s home. This is the punishment that I get. But good sir, walk me through what's going on specifically.
Okay, we've got a few things that are occurring in the United States of America that are a little bit different, and we're going to start in the United States if we can. First and foremost, we're reporting an item out of New York City on the Eastern Seaboard. It is a New York emergency management public service announcement that went out in the last 48 hours. It was a video telling citizens what to do in case of a nuclear attack. It is a 90-second video discussing 2 primary reactive actions and 1 proactive action. And this is our breakdown of the video. I should probably start with, this is 100% valid information that's been verified both within the United States and by Okonos sources. Okonos is off continental United States. So we have this verified at 100%. There's two of the reactive actions in the video. One says get inside and do it quickly, get into a building. You, your family, and friends get inside. You must act very quickly. You cannot stay in the car. This is not an option, and move away from all the windows. The second reactive set of actions is stay inside, shut all the doors and windows. If you have a basement, go there and stay there. If not, go to the middle or as close to the center of the building as possible. Anyone that was outside after the blast must get clean immediately. Once inside, remove the outer clothing you were wearing and bag the clothing to keep radioactive dust or ash away from your body, and seal the bag. And then the last portion of that second reactive set to shower with soap or shampoo, and that's each person that was outside after the blast. Proactively is number 3. It says, stay tuned following media for more information. Do not forget to sign up for official alerts and updates, and do not go outside until officials say it's safe. Those listening should, and those were their 3 steps in their 90-second video. From what I understand, the mayor of New York City, New York, Mayor Adams has indicated better to be educated about this rather than learning about it while it's taking place or after the fact. We were unable to reach Mayor Adams directly, and we were referred back to the video for our opportunities from the press office for the folks that were on the ground in New York. Again, they're not forecasting a nuclear attack or tactical nuke, as we've discussed previously in our conversations this year, but they have decided to go proactive. Apparently, this may be available on YouTube if you are not a New York City viewer, but it's very easy to see the 3 steps and review the 3 steps. Very, very unique information. Very, very unique with 100% validation. One of the things we do recommend from our shops is those listening, regardless of where you live, should be proactive in finding local emergency management contacts. They may include social media, including Facebook, Twitter, Indeed, YouTube, and direct websites that should be searched, and signing up in the communities for notifications. Staying in touch and not going outside until you hear the updates. And the proactive piece here is stay tuned and to media for more information. Don't forget to sign up for the official alerts and updates. Do not go outside until officials say it's safe. Again, there is no known fear, no known launch. Nothing has taken place that we can identify. And the mayor has once again stated the production of this video and distribution through the Office of New York City Emergency Management and New York State Emergency Management are not indicative of an attack, but rather to educate folks a little bit ahead of time in case there is an emergency of that type. With that being said, we're going to jump to the West Coast for our second item. And the largest county by population in the country of the United States is Los Angeles County, California. They are considering returning to an indoor mask mandate in the next 2 weeks. This is based on a surge in COVID cases, an increase of 10% in the number of COVID-related deaths in the county just in the last week. The variant that is out there is highly infectious and easily transmitted, according to the hospital officials and the medical staff in Los Angeles County. LA County hospitals had an 88% increase in COVID cases just in the last month. The highly transmittable variant is identified as COVID-19 B as in boy, A as in apple, .5, BA5. Nationwide, the Center for Disease Control, CDC, is now reporting 350 deaths from COVID-19. This is an increase of 10% over last week. Back to New York City, new cases were up 30% in the last week, 2 weeks. The COVID alert color-coded system that they use needs to be updated to a new one that can be changed and updated quicker to prevent the potential spread of the virus. Nationwide, what we're finding is many do not want to take a step back to wearing a mask. This is just not affecting the coasts in the United States. 3/4 of Americans are now living in counties across that nation on medium or high risk for COVID.
Oh, wow.
The Center for Disease Control is urging those that live in high-risk areas to mask up again indoors. And those in medium-risk areas to consider masking up based on individual risk. This includes mass transit, shopping, enclosed office spaces, schools, and potential to others that have claimed illness or displayed recent illnesses. Interesting timing for this. I think it's been brought up on your channel before, what will become of the midterms. With that being said, we move on to item number 3. This may have just broke in the last maybe few hours, if not overnight. The Biden administration purchases additional doses of COVID-19 vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna. They're purchasing to help meet the demand in the United States. The orders placed bring the vaccine purchase by the two companies to 600 million doses, enough to vaccinate 300 million people. Each company delivered 300 million doses in regular increments through the end of July last year. Each company will leverage U.S.-based manufacturing capacity, which is interesting because they had episodes overseas where some of the plants caught fire. Manufacturing will be done in the United States to fill, finish, and ship the bulk material as it's produced. And the president, this is a direct quote from the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Norris Cochran. These purchases allow us to expand our vaccine outputs to get shots into the arms of the American people while we rapidly ramp up the pace of vaccinations. I encourage everyone to take actions now to protect themselves and their family. Wear a mask, wash your hands often, and practice physical distancing. I didn't mention anything here about voting from home, but that remains to be seen. Number 4, let's not forget that the Pacific Longshoremen, 22,000 union and dock workers, are working without a contract nor an update since July 1st, as agreed upon by both parties. They'll continue to work. It comes up at this juncture in the conversation is the virus variant may have greater impact on the loading and unloading of the container ships arriving in the 29 ports that these 22,000 union dock workers are at, from the Mexican border to the Canadian border. Moving on to the war in Ukraine, according to unnamed spokesman from Operational Command South, late in the evening on the 11th, Ukraine's forces, along with 3 NATO airships, launched to support an offensive attack on ammo depots in Novokhovo. After successfully hitting the ammunition depots, Ukraine armed forces, acting with an artillery subdivision, launched another attack on a second Russian ammo depot in the village of Sharovin in Kherson Oblast region, Kherson just north of Crimea, and not too far from the Dnipro River. That area was currently being held by Russian occupation. Novokhovo is a Kherson region, South Ukraine, on the left bank of the Dnipro River. and Charavine is also in Kherson. Satellite imaging and other sources in country providing over 98% validity in that report. And the second item out of Ukraine was a Russian missile attack on the central city of Vinnytsia, killing at least 20 people, including 3 children in the attack. Vinnytsia is southwest of the capital of Kyiv, far from any of the front lines in this conflict. 3 Russian missiles hit an office building and damaged a residential building. Ukraine President Zelensky called this an attack, and I quote, an open act of terrorism. And the Russian Defense Ministry, which denies targeting civilians, has yet to comment on the missile attack. The video we received and reviewed that came in with this was very intense and took us right to 100% validity once we were able to identify some of the markers. Just absolutely horrific to see these missile strikes. A word from, again, Russian Defense Ministry, so it's unknown if these were old weapons or, as we spoke about in our last conversation and briefing, as opposed to laser guided. Very, very, very unsettling to see the residential deaths. Number 4 brings us to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, depending on how you pronounce it. President Rudolph abandoned the presidential residence to a nearby boat to the Maldives, and then a Saudi air flight bound for Singapore. This is as the citizens of Sri Lanka swarmed the presidential residence in protest over the country's economic crisis. The president had pledged to resign by yesterday. As president, he enjoyed immunity from prosecution, and it's believed from what we're hearing on the ground and other sources nearby, it's believed he wanted to flee before stepping down to avoid the possibility of arrest by the new administration. The acting president has his government ordered a curfew from noon to 5 a.m. on Friday, which is in place now. That's the second day, and the effort is to quell some of the protests. This is evident of other countries experiencing similar financial issues. They're being blamed on COVID, shipping issues, and social unrest, with some political organizations blaming Ukraine and Russia. Similarly to Sri Lanka, we have Haiti, which has been overrun with gang violence.
Oh, wow.
Called social unrest. Yeah, they had over 89 people killed this week due to gang warfare in the Haitian capital of Port-au-Prince. The 89 people killed, 47 had been identified as gang members, while the remaining are thought to be residents that got caught in the crossfire. The mayor of the nearby city of Soleil said 2 criminal alliances, or gangs as we know them, to be as G9 and GPEF were fighting for control of the area for everything from human trafficking, drugs, goods, anything that they could get their hands on. Comments to our team members in Haiti by Haitian County Director Jean-Martin Bayer, and this was a direct quote to them, is gang violence is considered a double whammy to them in Port-au-Prince. Caused by gang violence has impacts on markets, on trade, and livelihoods, and it's cut off the city from the rest of Haiti. Gang violence started to accelerate after the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse by mercenaries just about a year ago. And yeah, that's a quick 5 for us. Again, just to reiterate, if you came on late, there's no threat or known threat to New York City or any place on the continental United States regarding a nuclear attack. Please personally review firsthand if you have access to other YouTube channels or Google may get you there, depending on where you live. And review the 90 seconds, and please consider breaking it down the way our folks in New York City, as well as subject matter experts here, have done. Thank you. What do you have for us this week, Walter?
So I'm gonna
softball, fastball.
I'm gonna cheat
baseball?
tonight. I gotta cheat tonight because I am beat. Like when I started this video, my eyes were tearing up. I was so tired. I mean, I was literally at USPS driving back from Rockledge just to get here to do the show. I'm gonna give you guys a reprieve, but next week, I'm gonna be fair. Next week, I actually do have a list on a Word document of questions that are extra difficult, and I'm not. They were meant for this week. I'm so worn out. But I will say this: next week, I'm going heavy, and they're on big topics like immigration, and one of them involves immigrants that are basically interacting with Russia and moving from Russia and things like that. And so another one has to do with essentially what would occur with a nuclear strike when it comes to basically, something off the coast of America. Would that count as imminent war? And I think the big one all right, look, so the big one I'm curious about, that I've just been fluttering with my head about, because, Biden is not a war type president. His whole thing is equity, justice, equality, hugs, and snuggles. And his whole thing is not war. He is not a war guy. So the point here is, I want to know what you think it would take for President Biden to declare war against Russia. One of the big three is Russia, China, US. And I guess what my thing is, and I think this is a good question, what would not be enough? Because somewhere there's got to be a balancing figure that's going to get him on board. Sure, if there's a nuclear attack in the United States, that's easy. Boom, and we know it's Russia. War has been declared. But what counts? Cybersecurity, you said, that could cross boundaries very easily. That would not count because we've already seen that. We've already seen cybersecurity affect NATO nations. We're not getting dragged into it. We didn't do it. We're now constantly feeding gear to essentially the Ukraine, and yet Russia's like, well, America's not really part of it yet. At what point will Russia be the big bear, scary bear that it says it is against America? And at what point will Biden wear the big pants and actually declare war against Russia? So that's my big question. So yeah.
We'll also look at the economics. We'll have the what we call the money shop. Take a look at what's going on. Some of the new tools that have been added in recently are just amazing, and they're still working on everything from naval ships to airships to container ships. And why are the shelves full? And I'll leave you with this one. You can respond next week to this one, but
good.
Why are the shelves full in a lot of areas? But nobody seems to, I say nobody, we believe less than 3% of most countries is aware that the shortages are coming if they haven't experienced them already. And they're going to come so sharply and so quickly. It begs to share with folks, again, as we said before, you can put it away and call it for the storm. We believe the storm is on its way. And it may be inside the big box stores, it could be online. One of the things that was just recent, and I know you're tired, but I want to get this off, is I don't know if it'll recycle for next week, but a lot of folks were coming in the last couple of days. Amazon did their Prime Days, which I guess is I'll call it their holiday in the middle of nowhere on the calendar days of moving a lot of inventory. One of the things that was noticed was a lot of the electronics were the year 2020 or 2021. And they were curious where the current electronics for 22 were. I'll leave it there as a rhetorical question. So,
that's a good question.
Time. Please be safe, everyone. Please be safe and be aware. Just be aware.
Before you run away, to make sure, and this is a question I wanted to ask this week, and I'm not going to get. Can you do the research and find out when it comes to because, remember, a lot of the people who watch this show, some of them live in literally sheds. Some of them live in those little plastic sheds in the back, that have the two little fold out doors. Some of the people live in wood frame houses, concrete houses, block houses. Can you find out how radiation affects those houses and how roofs work with that stuff? Because that's something I just don't know about. I know the house up in New Jersey is basically a tank bunker. So, I'm hoping to I Love Genie myself and just blink my eyes and wiggle my butt and end up in New Jersey when the nuclear bomb hits. But, the point is, like, my house in Florida is made out of toothpicks that were basically rusting and, corroding and essentially rotting before they were even taped together with Gumby tapes. So, yeah.
I think what we'll do is provide you some resources on distances and impact. I believe that there is a grave concern for all citizens globally that it has not been separated by any of the cities or health officials that we've come in contact with regarding homeless, near homeless, those who very recently, with the impact of changes in everything from mortgage rates to rents, I think it's put more people out of housing than into housing. And the concern in the United States is the Federal Reserve in that country is thinking about a 100 base points, which is the equivalent when it gets down to the mortgage level, according to the money shop, is about another 1% on top of the existing increases this year already. So we have grave concerns for the folks who will be displaced from housing, and I think when it comes down to, and I'm going to speak ahead of the question without checking with the shops, and the guys are like, wait till next week, but I think because the notice went out, I think when we talk about securing yourself, if you are in that situation where you do not have a dwelling to go into, find your way into a dwelling, and whether it's a home, a business, a subway, get out of that car, get out of that bus, get out of that above ground train. These are not secure places, and do what you can to impart yourself. And it's a great question for the local division of public services. They have different names all over the world, but what is that plan for those who have been displaced? What is the plan for those who are living in conditions that they do not have a home? I have a very strong feeling the inability of the New York City mayor's office, press office, if you will, the emergency management office, probably at this time doesn't have much to say about the folks who are either at that level at this time or will soon be and have expressed concerns based on the video that they distributed. I think it's a fair question. And that also comes down to colder months in the northern half of the world where what do they do? What is the resource? I would like to hope that whatever the plan is for hurricane, tornado, natural catastrophe, flood, dam break, whatever building collapse, whatever resources, which may include the International Red Cross, not leaving them out of the blend. But whether those centers would suddenly become open and available, and if the cities or counties that you live in or your listeners live in, now is the time, and it's a great question. It really is a great question. You might find excellent preparedness, or you may find none. But at the end of the day, if the answer is not very much, I think the follow-up question for your listeners will be, can it be the same as a weather catastrophe, where it would be open almost immediately in the event of a tactical nuke or something to that effect? How quickly can they open that? Because the urgency depending on distance. And if you're close, the urgency for the list, we broke down out of this video, and the shops that broke it down did an excellent job. And big cheers to the crowds here that are here that run these shops, and folks that are in New York City or were in New York City. They're on the move constantly, but three cheers to them. But I believe it should be along the lines of they need to have that preparedness ramped up, and these folks need to know what to do, because time is essential if it's a direct or within a large radius of where they're spending the evening. They need the assistance of getting the clothing off and the dust off for preservation purposes. All right, like what do they call it on Saturday Night Live with that show program? Debbie Downer?
No, I mean that's good. I mean that's reality though. You know, like people want to know what's actually going on. People in this country, they don't see it. They don't see the reality of what's happening with the shelves. They don't see the reality of what's happening with international product distribution, reserve currency issues, quantum finance. I mean, look, I learn something new every day. They just discovered a slug or I don't know what it is, a worm that eats styrofoam. And I was like, well, shit, we're good.
Yeah. Every TV that comes over from in a container ship over the size of 75 inches comes with a dozen worms.
Hey, it's got to have worm tax on there.
That worm.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
How big does that worm get, right?
That's it.
Like, can you fish with him afterward? But you can't because he floats.
It's good public policy. It's just...
Yeah, it is. It is. That'll be the platform your president can run on. I have plastic worms that float after they eat.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Styrofoam.
If they eat those, what are they called? Lionfish after they pop off the ship. I mean, think about the craziness of that. There's actually an animal or a thing, a living whatever, a sentient slug that can eat styrofoam that humans create. I mean, this earth has just given us everything we need.
So if you mix them with gasoline, do you have napalm in a worm?
I guess. I mean,
it's like pretty soon. Well, hey, however it works, just one thing I will add, and was just handed off by the political folks, the political shop. Thank you for the handoff last minute. Apparently, Ukraine and Russia are currently under negotiation. It's not very well known. Obviously, it's not Mr. Putin or President Zelensky in that meeting. But apparently, over the last 24 hours, meetings are being held. We have that at to the east right here. Is that 89% that they've had meetings, excluding the two leaders. The war goes on. Like I said, it's close enough to 90% that we'll share it with you. And I hope we can go in peace. I really do. I hope we can go in peace. But if not, we'll take the floating worms and try and fish when. I wonder how that would work in salt water.
No,
I don't know. You're
buoyancy.
You're from seaboard, right?
Yeah, buoyancy should be pretty good with them. I mean, look. As long as they grow and I can ride them, then I'm happy.
Well, or the other way of looking at it is you can use it as roofing material. I don't know. It's going to have a longer life than some of the products that we've been told about. So
I keep buying stuff. Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, but I keep buying stuff from Home Depot, and it just never works out from there. But good sir, thank you so much for coming on the show. Yeah,
I appreciate the time. Our shops appreciate the time to be a little bit lighter than we are with our customers with the quality and content. They're very engaged. They're very excited to do the work. They try and be a little bit diverse in their sharing. So it's not all America. We are watching areas like Central America and these new tools over the next few weeks. Is if they operate as well as expected, tied into the proprietary systems that we're using. really it's a game changer in a lot of places. Lets us understand a lot more of what's going on and the impact globally, to be able to see the visual documents and the satellite imaging. It just keeps getting better. It just keeps getting better. It's really very unique. Thank you, good sir. I appreciate it. Everyone be safe, and hopefully we can catch up with you soon.
Perfect, good sir. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Be well. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So, guys, that's awesome because we get literally like an around the world view from people who watch satellites and are into all the security programs as to what's going on. That's awesome because they're noticing the big things that should scare most people. And the thing I always watch, just so you guys know what I watch what the nuclear submarines are doing, because to me, that's the end game. Those are the queen pieces on the chessboard that can move and do crazy things. Like imagine if a meteoroid hits the earth, right? In most instances, a lot of those, obviously if it was a massive one, but a lot of those submarines are going to survive with their nuclear capacity. So that's what I always look for. Now, with that said, we had somebody who was calling in. Let me find him real quick. We're going to take one more phone call, and here we go. Boop, boop, boop. We're going to call this person right now. For this person, remember, to use a fake name. Well, we'll get him on the phone first. Here we go. Ring 2. There we go. Let's see if we can get a ring 3. Ring 3. There you go. Let's see if we can get a ring 4. Oh, he's got an answer. He called like 14 times. No. I feel myself just dying on the inside with each ring. Come on. Spear fingers. Let's see what we got here.
Google subscriber you have called.
Oh, God. All right, we're going to try one more time. Here we go. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 calls. All right, we're going to try one more time. Here we go. We got this. We got this. Look, we're going to make this happen. We're going to, sweetie, you're going to go out soon. I know. You're going to go out soon. I know. I can tell. You're giving me the eye. She's giving me the chubby dog eye. Come on. That call's coming through. Shadow's literally right. Can you see him? I'm going to bring him over here. He is literally popping a squat on my leg saying he wants to go out. I know, Bobby. Oh, best kisser in the world. Oh, my goodness. Nobody salty kisses. I know. Want me to hold your paw? All right, there you go.
Google subscriber you have called.
All right, guys. So I don't know what happened, but I got to take these little piggies out, and then I got to go work on a brief because, yay. Anyways, I'll catch you later. Thank you so much. There were massive donations. Like, it's just, guys, it's incredible because it helps me work on doing all that farm stuff, making sure these little monsters have treats. I know, Babos. He wants to shake hands. I know. Give me the hand. All right. I will catch you later. Have a wonderful night. And thank you so much. All right, guys. Bye-bye, guys. Have fun. Bye-bye.